Introducing your hosts, Sam Gotze and Tanner Dislin. Welcome to Crunch Time with the N326 Duo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 225 of Crunch Time. I'm going to be your host today. I'm Tanner Dislin. That's Sam Gotze. We are the N326 Duo. Got a good little show for you. Later we're having on Joseph Weinsinger to put a little bow on the World Cup coverage here. I mean, obviously we've said it a million times. It was so fun getting into the World Cup, watching the World Cup, and all that good stuff. We also have I believe the official return of Gimme 5, because the last time we couldn't use it. So we got the Gimme 5 best TV show theme intro songs.
That look really good on the graphic. TV intro, theme song.
Yeah, but you know what we're talking about. Intro songs, theme songs, whatever you want to call it. But that's going to be great. So, I mean, where should we start? What do you want to talk about?
Well, we've hit the lull.
There's a wall. We've hit it.
Probably the biggest news outside of the World Cup is LeBron still hasn't made an announcement, but somebody on Miami Heat social staff no longer has a job.
Correct.
Because there was a scheduled thing. I believe it even said LeBron James press conference. Go ahead. Yeah.
A YouTube premiere live stream that was posted on the Miami Heat YouTube channel. It was called LeBron James Introductory Press Conference, dated for July 27th.
And we are recording on the 22nd.
And this will be posted on the 23rd. So
and
is what? Sunday?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know. I'm not good. But
how many days is so hard?
But it was later deleted.
Yes, it was deleted fairly quickly.
Yeah, that's a tough look.
And I know what everyone's thinking. Oh, you know what? That doesn't mean anything. Well, we have a follow-up because there was a LinkedIn post.
Yeah.
There was a LinkedIn post. Now let me find the actual post here. But yeah, it was a LinkedIn post for a YouTube manager for like the Miami Heat. Content specialist, I think, was the actual term, but yeah, not good. Not good. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Yeah, Director of YouTube Strategy.
Not good.
Being a YouTube first builder and understand the platform deeply, how to create next gen, yada. For the Miami Heat. Yeah.
Tough.
So
tough luck. Tough luck.
Did they lose their job for spreading false info, or did they lose their job for spoiling something that has not been released? That is the $1 million question.
I mean, what is worse in all reality? Just like, because it is a pretty big F up if it does come out to be true.
I feel like if you're the team, it's way worse if he's not going.
Yeah.
Because if he does end up coming, everyone's gonna be like, haha, remember that time when it was spoiled? But hey, we still have LeBron James. Haha, this is fun. But if you don't get LeBron, then you got our fans' hopes up for nothing. When he doesn't come, you're gonna be like, well, what the hell? Why didn't you get LeBron? And just made the situation so much worse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but we are still on the decision watch. So that's about the biggest news in the sports right now. I mean, MLB has kicked back up. Boston's on an incredible run.
They had a doubleheader.
Yeah.
We're recording. I know they won the first game.
They won the first one.
They won the first.
So 15 games. That's crazy.
And the second one, first pitch changes in a couple minutes.
And I think the most impressive part of that is because it was over um the All-Star break. Like they entered the All-Star break with a winning streak and have picked it up right after. So I think that's kind of for 15 now is impressive, no doubt. But like doing it over break is pretty freaking impressive.
Which, granted, like you said, there was a week break in there, so it's not like it's games. But like you said, 15 games is nuts.
Yeah,
they're now back to 4 games over 500, and the American League is dog water.
Yeah.
To put it bluntly, I mean, I'm gonna pull up the standings here in a second, but from where I'm sitting, in my just kind of knowledge of the season as a whole, like the Yankees, the Rays are the 1 seed in the American League, and they're 16 games over 500. The Yankees are the 2 seed in the American League at 11 games over 500. But like the Central is the White Sox. They're 6 games over 500. The White Sox and the Guardians are tied for first place in the Central, both 6 games over 500. And the leader of the American League West is the Texas Rangers, a whole 1 game over 500.
Yeah.
So negative 28 run differential for Texas, by the way. So I mean, we're in an interesting spot to where the Red Sox now 4 games over 500, the hottest team, obviously 15 straight. I mean, I think it's very reasonable to potentially see the Red Sox doing something here in the American League.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems it is heading that way. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We've seen teams go on runs and earlier in the season. Obviously, my mind goes to the Cubs, are pretty hot right now. So I'm looking forward to getting back into the deep dive back in the MLB because they're playing pretty well right now. Had a tough loss a couple nights ago, but yeah, but that's what baseball is, especially in the MLB. You play 162 games, a lot of streaks, good and bad, and seems the Red Sox are on a scorching hot one right now.
And even when they're good, they're usually not this good for this long.
Yeah.
So winning streaks are what, 6 games?
Yeah.
Like 6-game win streak. Oh man. And then it fizzles out. So not enough good things can be said about the stretch the Red Sox are on. Are you buying into PCA for MVP?
I mean, he's been balling lately. Obviously, with the World Cup, I haven't been super locked in, but I know he's been playing out of his damn mind right now. So I'm buying in. Why not?
Yeah, the only problem is you have to be like Hercules himself to pry the MVP away from Ohtani.
Yeah.
like
it's tough.
It's going to be awesome when he wins second.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we mentioned the American League sucks, so I'm sure. I mean, Judge has been hurt, so who knows who wins it over there. But let's see what else is going on in the sports world, Sam.
Nothing. That's Chip Kelly looks funny.
Yes, the hard hat and the construction vest.
Yeah. That was like honestly the biggest news outside of the whole Miami Heat thing. That's like storyline number, I'd say 3 with all the ESPN layoffs. I mean, sure, if you want to go for it, but like I think ESPN's kind of washed.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't tell you the last time I watched Sports Center.
Yeah, me either. The one that got me low key is Carl Ravitch. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a very popular thought process with a lot of people on that.
I guess like ESPN lost Sunday Night Baseball, so
Yeah.
but him not on College World Series, Little
Yeah.
World Series, Baseball Tonight, which I don't even know if Baseball Tonight's still a show anymore, to be honest with you. But yeah, he was the voice of Baseball Tonight. He's someone who grew up watching a lot of baseball.
Yeah.
That is going to be.
Yeah, I heard that. That's the biggest one. I do think is absolutely absurd what they did. I'm not a Ryan Clark fan. Um, frankly, I'm not a big ESPN guy. What they did to Ryan Clark's absurd. Like, you knew you were letting him go. Like, don't put the guy on national TV. That's
really
crazy.
That's really bad. I do kind of feel bad for him, but yes, I agree. I was totally fine on Ryan Clark, and he lost me when he was talking to Peter Schrager, and he said,
Yeah,
like, right,
yeah.
You if you opinions about stuff and be right about stuff, even if you didn't.
When you pull that card, you lost.
You lost. You lost. You're wrong. You lost.
But thank God they kept on Stephen A. and Pat McAfee.
My thoughts on Pat McAfee are so polarizing.
He's
so good on game day.
Electric.
And he's just I'm gonna put it this way, and he's just so not for me on everything else.
Very little do I compliment ESPN on damn near anything. They absolutely nailed replacing Corso with Pat McAfee. That was absolute, and then adding the complete opposite of Pat McAfee and Nick Saban. Those two complement each other so well. Obviously Lee Corso lost his fastball late in his tenure on a game day, but I will give ESPN props. That was a nail of a hire, but now they're gonna be shoving Pat McAfee down our throats. Yeah, dude. Why not?
What I was gonna say, you talk about ESPN. Like, for the most part, I agree. However, I'm remaining opted into ESPN's coverage of college football. The Fowler.
Yeah.
You hear Chris Fowler when you hear his voice on Saturday night, you know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
The Reese Davis and all them. I'm fully opted in on their coverage of college football. I know the Jay Billis can be with college basketball. I really like the play-by-play guy. Why can't I think of his name? Why can't I think of his name? He does it.
I'm blanking on it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Dan Shulman.
Yeah.
I like Dan Shulman a lot.
Is Pash still part of ESPN crew? Because he will always be one of my favorites, because obviously he was the guy that did Pac-12 After Dark with Bill Walton. It was just absolutely electric.
I like Dave Pash too. I also like Boog Shiambi.
Yep.
You know, that does Big 12 on ESPN.
Yeah.
And he also does stuff. So I like those guys. I don't think I hate Jay Billis as much as you do, but I don't love him.
I think he's great when he's not talking about Duke.
Sure.
But everyone has their biases when it comes to calling games. It's just part of it. But yeah, that was pretty significant news. I'm just worried about them shoving McAfee down our throats, because I think I'm
worrying. I'm preparing for it.
Yeah, yeah, for real.
Which, again, whatever. Live sports on ESPN is fine. Any of the what's it called? The coverage shows, I think, other than College Game Day, is probably going to be a pass. So
yeah, 100%. It's That's a good combo right there.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned it a little bit, but speaking of merging how's this for a segue? Talking about coverage and announcers, I think Fox and the World Cup drastically screwed up their announcing duos for the World Cup.
Yeah.
The main guys for the U.S. for the U.S. coverage, Fox 18, John Strong and Stu Holden are fine. I don't hate them.
Yeah.
Ian Dark will forever have my heart as a soccer announcer, and he needs to be on the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's partnered with Landon Donovan, so even then you have Landon Donovan for the American. Like, I don't know what the hell Stu Holden is. Apparently he played for the U.S. at one point. If for the biggest game, you put me with who, for my money, is the most iconic, at least in our lifetime,
Yeah.
the most iconic soccer announcer, certainly in America, even though he's not from America, but he does it for the American audience, with an American soccer legend. Like, that's a match in heaven. Why the hell aren't they at the 18? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm crazy.
100% though. I agree. But yeah, it's I think one thing I will give the World Cup credit, I know the commentaries themselves weren't all that liked for the most part. Go ahead.
I like it. Or sorry, you said about
the comment.
Oh no,
what you were just bashing. The desk was phenomenal.
Okay, yeah, that's where I was
going. Was phenomenal. Zlatan, one and done. That's hilarious. Thierry Henry. I'm blanking on the other guy. Yeah, that guy sucks. So, but it was a perfect trio. Carly Lloyd was the best of the best. So it was all. Clint Dempsey was on there. Yeah. So, dude, it's just
some other guys like Peter Schmeichel.
It just sucks that the World Cup's over, man. We dive into it a little bit with Joseph, obviously, but yeah, we're all pretty bummed right now. It definitely made this podcast better for like 2 months because we after dude, it just got me so hyped for March Madness, dude. It's the best, dude.
I'm just so like now I'm in real withdrawal because I'm never, to be honest with you, like, everyone's like, oh, the summer lapse of sports, and like for the most part I feel it, but I've always been locked into baseball. I usually watch 162 games, as many as I'm around for. Like, I won't watch a TV show over the Mets game. I won't watch a movie over the Mets game. I won't play video games over the Mets game. They are so bad that I have completely given up. Haven't watched a game in over a month.
Yeah.
I swear to God, actually, that's not true. I watched the first game out of the All-Star break. You know why?
Why?
Because it was on national TV and I was getting my haircut at Sport Clips.
There you go. There you go. No free ads, of course, unless they want to sponsor. Yeah. They lost it, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, I did know that. I still have the thing.
The noties on, of course.
The home screen.
Yeah.
Thing.
The live.
Yeah. But like that was the only time I watched them in the past month, maybe even 2 months. They've lost me so bad that I'm for the first time in my life I'm feeling like true sports withdrawal.
Yeah. Dude, I watched Summer League. I've been watching Summer League.
Yeah.
Bro, the Hogs are hooping right now. They're hooping. So, but then they sit for like half of it. So, but yeah, it's tough. Luckily, there's some banger TV shows, movies. So we got that to hold us over.
The double segue, because now, what do you say we kick it to ourselves and Joseph, wrapping up this World Cup. Covering everything we missed. So yeah. Okay, now welcome on recurring guest Joseph Weinsinger. Joseph, thank you so much for joining us, man. I mean, what a World Cup we had, man. What a World Cup.
It was fun, man. It was awesome. It's sad to see that it's over. Looking forward to 2030.
You and me both. I mean, I was absolutely devastated. We had this conversation last episode. I was absolutely devastated. We don't have matches in the middle of the workday anymore. But I want to start something near and dear to our hearts and most people listening hearts. The U.S. team. the U.S. team. What went wrong against Belgium? Because from my standpoint, this was a team that looked different. I was told they were different. They looked different, and they played like they were different in the first couple games. But in the end, here we are, embarrassed by a quality team from Europe. What went wrong?
Yeah, man, that game feels like so long ago now when we played against Belgium. And I was out at like a bar watching that, and it was just everyone, energy was high. We were firing on, all cylinders up to that point. Um, I think the challenge of a tournament like this, just like you see in stuff like March Madness, to put together a string of games in a row where you are on your shit every time, at least enough to get the job done, is the challenge. That's why you have a whatever 6 leg plus group stage or 5 leg plus group stage tournament. To pull that together for that many games is so hard. And I expected more out of them. I think if we're talking about the Belgium game specifically, um, I have watched quite a bit of soccer in my day, and I actually do think that's probably top five, if not top three, of just like the worst performances I've seen from a team. Um, and I don't say that as like a
Tough.
bitter. I don't say that as like a bitter fan. Honestly, I say that because of just how shocking it was to see that. Really, you've got guys like Christian Pulisic, who's the wonder boy, who goes off injured, I think, right in that game. And it happens. I think at the end of the day, he didn't really show up in this World Cup the way that a lot of people expected him to. I think we kind of struggled offensively and especially defensively. I think Tim Ream, who's our captain, is like the worst player of all time. I've always said that he is terrible and he's an old head. He can't move. He plays for Charlotte. He plays for Charlotte FC, which is not even a good team within the MLS, and he's just washed. And you can't have a guy like that holding down the back line, which has to be the backbone of your team. You can't have a guy holding down the back line. And frankly, at least two of those goals were his fault specifically. Um, so I think I'll probably not keep going because I could go literally all night about that game. But Belgium was the better side. Belgium is good. Belgium is very good, and they certainly whipped our ass. We had like a lucky free kick that like glanced off of some dude in the wall. We just never had a chance, man. I mean, it reminds me a lot of kind of how the final went, where like one team just didn't even have a shot because of the way the game went, and that was us in that game.
Yeah, I mean, from a layman watching, like I think back, obviously the mind goes right to 2014 with Belgium, a much better Belgian side, a much worse U.S. side, and we were like in that game. And this one, we just got stomped into the ground and completely embarrassed and obliterated.
Yeah, I don't hate him, but I like to act like I hate him. Romelu Lukaku, um, he is. It's funny, man. Like you look at the guy, he just doesn't look like he'd be like a world class soccer player. His build is just unique. And I remember in 2014 scored what I guess you'd call a nail in the coffin against my boy, who my guy was Kyle Beckerman back in the day. I have his jersey and I loved that guy. And he was a midfielder, kind of was a guy I looked up to a lot when I was kind of growing up in the game. But anyway, I remember when Lukaku scored like a nail in the coffin goal against us in 2014, and he runs up to the camera and he says, "Remember me." And I said, "You motherfucker!" Like that. That from that point on, I hated Lukaku, and he whipped our ass again. And he's
Never
just a
stops
big
scoring.
body, strong, talented guy. So I remembered him, and I did not like him, and he did it again.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very frustrating. It it seems we finally got behind, like the country as a whole got behind a team that is actually worth watching. if you're not like a diehard soccer fan, I know a lot of people were still tuning into these matches, and going out like that was very embarrassing. I know I was pissed. I was like, I'm really pissed at a soccer game right now, but it was an utter embarrassment. And turns out the Balogun red card BS didn't really matter in the end of things.
No, meant absolutely nothing. I mean, the goals were given. Obviously, we could harp on this for the entire time, but like, well, we had a sick effort from our captain defenseman, as you mentioned. We had our goalie chunk his 9-iron on a clearance kick, and yeah, I mean it was bad. But like just for the tournament as a whole for the U.S., like because I'm sitting here, I've been told about this team, and I've never seen a U.S. team play as well and have as much promise as the U.S. did for the first 3 games, and now I'm sitting on the outside looking in. Okay, we beat what? Paraguay, we beat Australia, and we beat Bosnia, and we got absolutely obliterated by Belgium. Like, how do you? Is there any way that this can be like a successful World Cup, or are we just sitting here like, damn, like we just have this nasty taste in our mouth, and we're back to the same old U.S. soccer?
Yeah, I'm not going to say the team is a failure. I think Mauricio Pochettino as our manager was the best we could hope for. I mean, the guy had a sound strategy. I think it was a matter of kind of the on-field performance that really did it in for us at the end. But I think it's safe to say, yeah. I mean, it's not a failure, but maybe we did leave a little bit of meat on the bone, as far as what was expected. We had I mean, really had a pretty easy road, and as soon as we were challenged once, that all kind of went down the drain because we didn't rise to the occasion, and yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and harp on it, but like what we saw from the goalkeeper on the United States, what we saw from Tim Ream was just like you just don't even see that kind of stuff in professional soccer, like or sports, really. Just a total collapse, um, a total failure to launch, as far as I'm concerned. And I think, unfortunately, guys like Christian Pulisic, who when you're the worldie, you're the rock star, you're playing in Milan, you're leading the league, in stats, you're the guy. Um, and then something like this happens, the eyes turn to you, and that's what you get when you're on that level, And I think he's going to get lashed for what happened. He's not involved at all in media. He doesn't do interviews. He doesn't do anything on purpose. So I think there'll probably be a lot of questions asked. I don't know what it looks like for Mauricio Pochettino as our manager next time around. I think he had the most talented team that we've had in our lifetime, 27 years, of soccer. It's just we had the best chance this World Cup, and I don't know, man. We all know sports teams that are like that, where it's like, hey, we got a lot of potential here, and then you flop on maybe one performance, and that whether it's the
Yeah.
March Madness or whatever, and that's curtains. It
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. I think that going back to your point about Pulisic, like everyone knew he was a guy. And it seemed that this tournament was the tournament of the superstars. I mean, we saw Holland, we saw Messi, Lamine Yamal, Mbappe, just like all these superstars just flourishing on this grand scale. And our guy just kind of flopped. So extremely frustrating. Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, too. Want to throw them in there.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. I think, yeah, I mean, it's a team sport. That is a sport where you could put the greatest player on a very mediocre team. It's going to be hard for them to get it done, man. Because, like I said about the USA game, it's very rare that a team is piss poor offensively and defensively in the same game.
Us, baby.
We yeah, we got the double duty on that, and I don't know. There's not much to say besides it was just just terrible performance. I don't know. The strategy, I guess, could have been improved along the way. Um, I would have liked to see, where we really were really strong was getting the ball in wide positions. Christian Pulisic and Balogun working kind of those top two spots and connecting, and you didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
In the same way that I don't know, you go back to the final and it's like Argentina didn't do what they do. It's like their defending was fine, but I'm sure maybe we'll talk about that later.
I mean, that's just the perfect segue right there. I mean, the logical next step. We talked about U.S. I mean, we had a final, obviously, just this past weekend, and Spain had that game from start to finish in a stranglehold, just could not break through. Incredible performance from the Argentine defense and the Argentine goalie. But, I mean, obviously, Spain wins on the 1-0. With the 1-0 scoreline. I mean, what did you see in that game? Because from a layman, it's watching soccer. I've watched Argentina in like back-to-back games play like crap, not score, and then be like, "Oh, we're down a lot at the end of the game. Like, let's try and score." And then they scored like 5 goals in like 12 minutes combined. And then I watched
Yeah.
this game, and they just simply cannot score. Like, what happened to Argentina? Is Spain is just that good? Argentina broke down. But it was just like it was just it seemed the entire time like, okay, when's Spain gonna score? When Spain's gonna score? When Spain's gonna score? Oh, they did score. Oh wait, no, they got called back, and then we obviously got the game winner.
Yeah. Um, Argentina ran into a beast. I think Argentina's obviously good. They're good enough to get to the final. Say what you want about, the help they may or may not have gotten and goals taken away. I mean, obviously, we can all make our own judgments on that. At the end of the day, you know, I think Spain was just that good. You don't dominate for 90 minutes straight against someone like Messi and an Argentine team that is as talented as they've ever been. I mean, really. Um, and you see him crying, that's because Messi's probably not going to play with them again in a World Cup. It's probably more about that than losing the final. I think, man, in that game, I mean, you said it. There was never a chance in hell that Argentina was going to come out of that until the very end of the game. That's what I was telling everybody. I'm like, man, this is kind of what they've done. This is where they kind of escape with one, and I could see it happening again, especially if they go to penalties. That's Argentina's game. I mean that
No
they
shit.
have the
Yeah.
advantage if it goes to that.
Argentina
And they have
winning
the
those penalties if it went
Yeah.
there. They were
That
100% winning those penalties.
I think everyone had that mindset like Spain needs to finish it before PKs or they will blow this after dominating for 90 minutes plus, just absolute domination. I've never seen like that is probably one of the most dominating performances that I've seen in sports, period. Like, I know Argentina, I think, finished with 2 shots, but really they were like pity shot stats. Like, it was utter domination. And yes, Spain is known for controlling possession, which they did, no doubt. But like, you still think Messi would get a run at a goal and put one close to net, but it was just utter domination.
Yeah, and I think you're right, Sam. It's like you've got a team like Spain, and this is what they do. The reason they are so hard to play against is because they control the game. They hold the ball. You look all over the field. They're known for triangles all over the field. You can draw triangles all over the field. So the players always have two options. That's how they keep the ball, and that's a strategy that takes world class talent to actually execute. Argentina, you go back and watch, all of their goals. I'm sure there's a montage you can watch. I'd say probably most of them were all counterattack goals. I mean, that's how Argentina was scoring the whole time. And guess what? When a team like Spain holds the ball the entire time, waits for moments, tires out those players that have to defend constantly and run around, there's not going to be much gas left for a counterattack. In Spain, out of all teams in the world, they keep the ball the best and they win the ball back the best. So whenever you are playing this counterattack bullshit game, if that's what's been working for you, great. But you have to be able to adapt your strategy against a team like Spain, where that's simply not going to work because you're going to have a team. I didn't believe the possession stats when they put them out. Like that doesn't. That's there's no way that's accurate because they were pretty close, the possession stats,
Yeah.
but it felt like Argentina barely touched the ball.
Yeah.
You know, and a guy like at the end, I was like, why don't you just give it to Messi every time? Like he
Yeah.
needs to check in because he barely touched the ball. It looked strikingly like how Cristiano Ronaldo looked in their game, you know, where they were eliminated. Is like he looked like he wasn't even on the field, you know, and you
Yeah.
hate to see that, but that's the strategy. That's why Spain does what they do, to take him out of the game as their best guy. I mean, good, but also Argentina. I mean, we've all played against these kind of players. Argentina's like the most. I'll choose my words. Like they are the worst kind of person to play against, the worst team to play against because they are very gritty. They're very determined and chippy, and they're also borderline dirty. And
What?
they just don't care, and they're there as a team, and you're gonna have you know like getting a red card is a result of that, and talking shit to the referee and then clearing some dude out. It's just like that's what happens whenever those kind of players get frustrated. You know, aside from Messi, who's level-headed, the rest of the team seemed like they were pretty heated. Like it was their emotions getting to them. They were getting frustrated. And this is all stuff that Spain had on the drawing board prior to that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I just remember watching it, being excited for the game and just like shocked. I mean, I knew Spain liked to dominate possession. I watched them play France, right, in the semifinal, but I just was shocked. I think there was legitimately one chance in extra time that would have equalized the game where I was like, oh, that
Yeah.
had a chance to score and end up skying it over the net. But there was legitimately one chance in 120 minutes of soccer. Yeah, it was shocking to see. But I think next I kind of wanted to talk about the other two semifinalists and really England, because I witnessed a breakdown. I witnessed a breakdown in front of my own two eyes against obviously the comeback kids in Argentina. But I mean, England again felt like they had control, scored the early goal, and then completely broke down.
It's the tale as old as time, man, where a team gets up and they feel like all they need to do is hold that lead, right? You start playing just not to lose instead of playing to win. And that doesn't work in any sport. I mean, you see that happen. I mean, I guess maybe in football or something, you can run down the clock, but a lot of times you see that bite them in the ass in every sport where teams drop in. In that case, England had dropped into their own box and were just getting pounded. And before Argentina seemed like they didn't have anything for them, well, then they drop, 10 players into their own box. And all of a sudden, Argentina's whipping in crosses, and then they score a couple from that. And then Messi's able to get active on the wing and got inside. And there's all this kind of friction that's starting to make some heat for Argentina. And once that they show that momentum chart all the time on the World Cup. I don't even know what that means, frankly, but they show that once the momentum changes, the game has changed. Like it's no longer England potentially putting the nail in the coffin. Now it's England trying to just protect their goal, and it's just a losing strategy, and it frankly doesn't work against a team like Argentina that's going to put one away. I mean, if some of the best finishers in the world, the best servers of balls across the box, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, imagine this is just classic England, throwing it away like that. They're known for underperforming, and they did really well this World Cup. I think that was a coaching mistake. I mean, you can blame the coach all day because they changed their game plan, and you could see it on the field.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it was. I think it was it was like the 68th minute on. England completed two passes.
because they just boot the ball forward. It's just like it was too early. It's too early to do that. That's not always the worst thing you can do, but in that case against that team, it's just like
with that much
the
time.
it's got to make sense. And Argentina's like, hey, thanks for all the chances. They're gonna go in.
Yeah.
That was absurd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, and then the other side, France, like an early favorite, a team that dominated the competition, ran into Spain, who I guess dominated two of the best teams in the world in their semifinal and final games. I mean, is there any takeaway there from France, or were you just more impressed by Spain? Obviously, now we have the context that Spain dominated Argentina the way they did.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'm not. I don't even think it's controversial to say that France probably has the most talent in the world. I mean, really, their bench is so deep. Obviously, Spain has too, but France has world class players. Eight deep on the bench. And a lot of times, you have so much talent that it can be difficult to figure out who fits a certain strategy the right way, because it's easy to just say, oh, we'll put out the 11 best players every game, but certain players have certain strengths. The team will, if it's a good coach, will adjust the formation mid-game as well, depending on what they're seeing, to open up more space, to open up chances for their players. And different players fit in those roles better. So, um, you know, France, I think they easily could have been, in that game a little more than they were. Um, I think Spain, obviously, best team in the world. Um, Nobody's got an answer for their game right now, and they've always, by the way, you saw all the Spanish players up in all the games. You had all the legendary Spanish players up in the box.
Yeah.
You had Andres Iniesta, Sergio Ramos, Piqué was up there, Casillas, Andres Puyol, all these players that won the previous title for Spain. So many years ago. Um, they played the exact same game back then, and they were more talented than the Spanish team today, arguably. So Spain, it's like they've shown their hand for forever, and this is their game, and this has always been their game. They develop the best players in the world, um, and here we are. Their game plan works again, but it takes serious talent to be able to play with that kind of efficiency. And at the end of the day, France just didn't have an answer for it.
Yeah.
Imagine like Iowa football with like 5-star talent.
Yeah.
That's Spain, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna take the ball. We're not gonna give you the ball, and we're just gonna score.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Pretty easy to put that down on paper, right? Like you could tell the Ivory Coast to do the same thing, but it's not going to work because you don't have the same talent, the same skill sets and strengths. So, good for Spain, man. The stars aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of shocking. I mean, I started to. I remember watching earlier World Cups, but the way Spain is talked about, and obviously, really one of the early World Cups I remember was 2010 when Spain won in South Africa. So, like in my mind, Spain has like minimum 4 World Cups,
Yeah.
but it's only their second and their first one.
Yeah, it feels like that. It feels like that, and they.
And they win the
Well,
Euro like every year, I guess 4 years, right? They won like 3 Euro in like the past 4 or something.
that's right. They're balling, in the Euro and the Euro Cup. Like, it's also rare that the Copa America team plays the European champion. I don't think that's ever happened before in the final, which is really cool. And also, a side note, but there's EA Sports. Did y'all see this about EA Sports and FIFA? And I don't want to. I think this was fine to say in hindsight, but they do like predictions, and they will run together. They'll run like a simulated like
Yeah.
FIFA game tournament, and the past 5 World Cups they have been correct on the champion. So
That's
Whoa,
kind of crazy.
whoa! That is crazy.
yeah, the past 5 World Cups, FIFA will do a simulated tournament you can watch, and it's obviously all like CPU gameplay. But every time the past 5 World Cups, 20 years, they've been correct on the winner, and Spain was the winner this year, and another W for them.
That's insane.
That is all right. Note to self: watch that
Yeah.
Write that down.
and do with that information what you will.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a fantastic World Cup, Sam. You got any?
I mean, I know it was a third place game,
Oh,
but
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
England France game was
yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Obviously, England takes that early lead, 4-0 lead before half, and you're like, but France still can somehow pull it off. But that game was absolutely electric. I know it wasn't for really anything, but yeah, I just want to show some love to that game because that was insane.
That was tight. That was tight. That's I man, when you see that score line, that's like an American's wet dream of like a soccer game because
Yeah,
there's so much going on at all times. And admittedly, the I know all the stars weren't out for that game initially, but it's kind of interesting. You got guys like Bukayo Saka on England who ended up with a hat trick, with his penalty towards the end of the game.
yeah,
Um, Arsenal shout out right there, my guys. But I you love to see it. I don't even know, that could have set a record. I don't know if y'all know if it set a record,
yeah,
but it's been the most goals ever in a game in the World Cup.
yeah. That's insane, insane. But obviously, this tournament has been one to remember all the stars aligning the atmosphere of these games. How would you rate this tournament on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best?
That's a good question, man. I
Thanks.
take everything into I take
Recency
everything into
bias is
account.
hard to eliminate in this, but it just seemed like it was like it's always you always want the stars to show out. Like I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know who Holland was. He was absolutely electric. I've heard about this young guy on Barcelona and Lamine Yamal. He was awesome to watch. Like it seemed this was like the perfect way to increase the sport likeness in this country because of how awesome this tournament was. But then you kind of get a traditional soccer final of 1-0. So
Yeah.
I don't know what I would rate it because we had these awesome moments like upsets and all of that, but the final was kind of your traditional what a lot of people don't like about soccer, I should say.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, man. And that is also Spain, by the way. They're not going to play, the most exciting brand of soccer to watch on TV. But I'd say, yeah, I mean, you got to take into account the final and how good the games were. To me, it's also important. Part of the ethereal part of the World Cup is like the incredible goals that are scored. And like this year, we didn't have as much of that. We had some serious bangers in the, um, man, I hate to mix this up. It was either Cape Verde or Curacao that scored just an absolute screamer from like the top of the box, upper 90. You had goals like that, but you think back to goals like James Rodriguez, back
Yeah.
a couple World Cups ago, where he had the volley come to his knee or something, turned around and just cranked one off the crossbar for Colombia, and that goal sent him into orbit as he got contracts because of that goal. Not because of his team, but because of him. And you see saying like Robin van Persie's flying Dutchman header, and
Yeah.
like legendary goals. I don't think we had as much of that this year, which it happens. But I'm gonna say, because I do want to throw a number on it for fun. Um, I'm gonna go for a I'm gonna go for an 8. I'm gonna go for an 8 because I think it was really great. I think we saw a lot of fun. Well, most of the players that people wanted to watch showed out.
Yeah,
Holland scored and scored and
legend.
scored. In a personality, like all the personality of Holland, and you love to see that too. Like it's to be taken outside off the field as well, and to create fans. I mean, like you
Yeah,
said, it's like that. I don't. That's not really the goal of the game, but it's like it's just a byproduct. And I think the United States did a really good job with it. Um, I think at the end of the day, everything kind of wasn't as great as it could have been, but I think it was great enough to get people excited for the next one and maybe even create some fans.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The goal you were talking about, I believe, was Cape Verde in extra time to equalize it. That was incredible against Argentina, I think.
Argentina, yeah.
That was that. Which, by the way, one team played both Spain and Argentina. One team tied Spain and pushed Argentina to the brink.
Yeah,
And that was Cape Verde.
that's
So
right, Cape Verde, baby, and
the true winners. The true
and
winners.
that guy. I mean, by the way, the goalkeeper, Vizino or something, or he might get a contract. The dude
Yeah.
came out, and obviously he's probably rolling in dough because of his Instagram following at this point and brand deals, just like Diego Ochoa was back from Mexico, 10 or 14 years ago, whatever. And that's what it's all about, man. It's like a Cape Verde, I think it was actually Curacao, population of like 200,000 people. Like it's like the size of Little Rock or something ridiculous.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
put together a performance like that for their people. Um,
yeah, we looked it up. Cape Verde has a population lower than Wyoming, which is the least populous state in the U.S. And
Crazy. But
less
that's
than
what it's
half.
about, man.
Yeah.
Just giving folks a chance to be put on the stage that may not otherwise be put on the stage. And some people take advantage of it. And that's kind of where the fairy tale stories like James Rodriguez, Diego Ochoa, those kind of guys are born. And I think we'll see a couple of those too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But I mean, anything else as we wrap up the coverage of the 2026 World Cup? It was an absolute blast. Thank you so much, Joseph, for being our main soccer guy. I just when's the next? Is there a Copa coming up or Euros? I guess it'll be in 2 years.
Yeah, you got to wait a little bit, but you can always watch, English League, Spanish League, Champions League. These are luckily these players are right back to work, man. They're going to be playing on their respective teams, and um, it's just as much fun to watch. It's a little different, obviously. It's kind of like regular season, but like I said, we might create some fans from this World Cup, and you can always go and find a team to support, find a player to support, and hence a team. But man, all things said and done, I think y'all did a great job covering it, kind of creating some fans here too. And I appreciate y'all having me involved. And man, the game goes on.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that. Just one more quick question. Just because I remember the stuff with like the Champions League and Arsenal and the Premier League. I remember that was somewhat recent. Like, when does that season like restart? Are they like back in a month, or are they in the fall? Like, I guess I don't know. Just for people trying to pick up club soccer, when does that season actually start?
Yeah. The Premier League might be happening now, or if not, it's happening soon. I'm actually not that religious about watching the Premier League, or I do watch the Champions League, but that's something you may just have to look up because, frankly, I'm not too tuned into that either.
Got it.
So
All good.
Champions League sounds like the
Yeah,
best of the best.
that's just like the World Cup of like Europe club, right?
That's right. It's the best teams, the best few teams from each league in each country, and they get together and kind of do a very similar thing to the World Cup. And there's essentially a super team crowned as the champion of the champions.
That's
And,
awesome.
yeah, and the most recent I believe that was PSG, right? But
Yep.
that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. Joseph, thank you so much once again. We will have you back next time we are in need of some soccer analysis, if not before. But we appreciate it, man.
All right. Back at you. Thanks, fellas.
huge shout out to Joseph once again. I mean, 3 or 4
Dude.
times on now.
Yeah, he was our guy this World Cup. Really gave us more insight than Mbappe kickball good, Messi run fast kickball good. He really broke it down. Yeah.
Boot the hell out of the ball. That was
But
amazing.
we do agree Tim Ream is an absolute disgrace.
Sold hard. The goalie, which I feel like
Freeze.
the goalie's getting off scot-free here because
Yeah.
Tim Ream was so bad. He was our captain.
Yeah.
Freeze.
Ooh. Yeah. Tough.
Brother.
Tough look.
Yeah,
but
he was terrible too. But yeah, no, it was a disgrace or at least that game was. But I just have a World Cup sized hole in my heart right now, and I need to fill it with something. And we'll start. I mean, at the very least, we'll have Joseph on in 2 years when the Euros.
Yeah, 100%.
Going, but hopefully we can get him on before then. Now, but should we get into our Gimme Five?
Let's do it.
We have Gimme Five TV show theme songs, intro songs, whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, I believe I do have to give you first pick, which hurts.
Yeah, low key. Jeez, there's so many good
There are
ones.
a bunch of good
My
ones.
list is like 10 plus, but
I think I have.
I think this one is for sure on your list. Game of Thrones.
It's so good.
Game of Thrones. It was. I mean, it's absolutely electric. Like people were so pissed when House of Dragon came out that it wasn't the Game of Thrones theme song. We all revolted and they switched it episode 2. So Game of Thrones is my first pick for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I had a feeling that would be on your list.
Okay. I'm gonna go with what I think is in contention for the best one of all time. I have never seen an episode of the show. I've seen some clips. Never seen an episode of the show. I know the entire theme song. I'm going Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yep, had that on my list. It was a debate between that one and Game of Thrones, but I knew you'd be taking Game of Thrones, so I had to let Fresh Prince go.
Maybe I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But in my 2 hole, I'm gonna take. It's tough because it's not necessarily an adult show, but when that intro kicks on, I think it's just about as iconic as any of them. Kind of lying because there are indeed not 104 days of summer vacation, but I'm going with Phineas.
Yep, had that on my list. Had that on my list for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I am gonna stay kind of in that same realm, Tanner. I'm gonna go to a Nickelodeon show, a personal favorite of mine, and an absolute banger of a TV theme song. I'm gonna go Drake and Josh here. Yep, absolutely. Drake and Josh, absolutely electric. Shout out Drake Bell for sure. For my third pick, I think this is one of the best TV theme songs. I think this is an absolute steal at pick 3. I mean, is one of the most recognizable TV theme songs. I'm gonna go Family Guy. I love the Family Guy theme song.
Completely blanked on that one.
Family Guy at my 3 hole.
That's good. It's funny. I'm gonna go with my 3. I again, it's one that I think is in contention for one of the best. The show isn't as popular, but I think I'm just gonna rip it. What's New Scooby Doo?
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, that one is so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Low key, Scooby Doo has just 2. They have that one, and then Scooby Dooby Doo.
Yeah,
that one's banger.
Maybe I should have gone with that one because it's more iconic. But like, bro, What's New Scooby Doo? Scooby Doo is so good.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And then 4 spot. Now this is This is where the rubber meets the road. Um, I think okay. I gotta go. I'm gonna go with a show that I haven't watched in a while, but like I feel like it defined an era of intro, and it defined what's the word I'm looking for, like a type of show in this era.
Yeah.
I'm going with Full House.
Wow. Wow. I'm stunned because that was the first theme song I thought of when we came up with this prompt.
Full House.
Full House was my next pick. So you sucked for that.
Who did you think I was gonna pick? Friends.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
But I guess what I meant with that was like, where the people like doing it every day and then they go to the camera like wave.
100%. 100%. Wow. I thought I was
in the
safe.
bag, huh?
I thought I was safe there. You know what? I'm gonna go the easy way. It's a classic. I'm going Friends.
Yeah.
It's not a huge fan of the show, but it's an iconic theme song that I think will play well on the graphic.
It will.
Oh boy. You know, still a lot out there. God, you taking Full House really messed up my mojo. Um, um, there's some that like I think are great. Oh man. I'm gonna do it. The Office. It's a classic. I know there's no words,
Sure.
but that hits every
It
time.
will, it'll play on the graphic. Now I have an interesting one because I can do the one I think is the actual better theme song, way more niche, or the one that'll play better on the graphic that's still great.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stay true to myself. I'm gonna take what I think is the better theme song. Again, I think it's one of the best. It's a little niche. It is the X-Men animated theme song.
Can't say I'm familiar with that one. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, and I have no idea.
I'll have to check it out.
They reused it for the re-release that they're releasing currently on Disney Plus, but it's so good. It is so good.
Yeah.
So, honorable mention time.
Should we give our 5 first?
Yes.
Game of Thrones, Drake and Josh, Family Guy, Friends, and The Office.
And I've got Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Phineas and Ferb, Scooby-Doo, Full House, and the X-Men animated series.
Yeah. For some honorable mentions, I have a ton, Tanner. I'm gonna be honest. SpongeBob.
Yep. It was either
SpongeBob.
The X-Men one more than SpongeBob, but SpongeBob would have played on the graphic, but I went with my gut. But yeah, obviously I had SpongeBob, and then the other Nickelodeon show.
I had a bunch of Nickelodeon. I ain't gonna lie. Fairly Odd Parents had that one. Yeah, absolutely. Just staying on the kids show. I had Hannah Montana. Yeah. I mean, iconic. Sweet Life of Zach and Cody was one I was debating on. Zoe 101 was another one I was thinking on. Oh,
it's funny. I had on deck on there.
Yeah. Oh,
this boat's rocking.
Yep. Of course. Good. Of course. So good. Then I had some ones where you wouldn't expect to be on the best TV theme songs because frankly I don't really like I had Big Bang Theory. I do not like that show, but they're the Bare Naked Ladies killed that.
I blanked on that one.
Personal, just like a favorite show of mine. Now, this one was interesting because it's just a song. Like, I think it's One Tree Hill has Don't Want to Be by Gavin DeGraw. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
awesome song, but like, is it a thing? Like,
Like another one I had on here was Cheers, which is like
yeah, I had Cheers on my Um,
but they were
Deadliest Catch has Wanted Dead or Alive, which is an absolute perfect theme song. But again, it's just like a song. Like they just put a sound. A couple more. How I Met Your Mother, like my all-time favorite show. Seinfeld, the guitar riff. I don't know if that's their intro, but it just shreds. Yeah, nailed it. And then the last one I have is a show that I've seen many episodes, not by choice, but it has one of the most underrated TV theme songs. And I was really debating on putting it, The Andy Griffith Show.
Oh.
Have you heard it? It is literally like 30 seconds of whistling this awesome tune. I encourage y'all to check it out if you haven't, but that is my honorable mentions.
Yeah, just kind of like on some of those vibes there. Like I had 2.5 Men.
Oh, that's a good one. Men.
That was pretty good.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Damn, that's a good one. That's another one that was on the TV a lot growing up. So,
but I had that one.
God, that's a good one.
And then I went some like non-conventional ones, like the Peanuts cartoon, like the.
That's a good one. That's a good. The no words is always a little risky.
But like that one, I started singing that. I was like,
yeah, absolutely.
I also had like Jeopardy.
Of course.
Iconic. I mean,
yeah.
Like it's tough. Is it all that great? Probably not, but it's iconic.
Yeah.
And it fits when they're writing down their answers. And then like I also had, I don't know if this would have played, but like Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Was that would have played?
Yeah.
All day on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
Ripped so hard.
I've been waiting all day for Sunday night.
So hard.
And Carrie Underwood's awesome. Yeah, those are good. I mean, I'm just thinking now we have some misses for sure. Like this is gonna be so lame, but the theme song absolute bangs. Wonder Pets, dude.
Oh,
banger. Backyardigans. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, zooming through the sky. Little Einstein. I mean, that I will say, Tanner, I am a little shocked. Obviously, staying on the kid show, I think that's kind of where you get a lot of these TV themes. I'm surprised I didn't hear Big Time Rush, Victorious. Those were some I had in the back on the back burner.
Yeah, the problem with Big Time Rush is that like I think their theme song is like one of their best songs. So like Victorious was probably a miss. That thing.
iCarly's another one that has a pretty recognizable. Yeah, that's a miss. I mean, TV kid shows. That's like
funny, dude.
Max and Ruby and Max. So, obviously, Twilight Zone is like I've never seen that show, but it's super popular. X-Files, is that the one I'm thinking of? Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's. Yeah,
I also thought about like Law and Order, but then it's
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Then their actual theme song.
Yeah, but yeah, like I think How I Met Your Mother.
That's the thing.
I like the short ones but like Game of Thrones. But like ba 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 ba, like
that's not really that great, but like the show's good and it just works. It
Yeah.
works within the like you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like by itself, you're just like, what the hell are you doing?
yeah, that's what like I love it, but
The show's good, so you have a positive social, and it just works within. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
But it works. It
Yeah.
works. And like I know, Parks and Rec is just like similar to The Office, just like random like instrumental, but it
Yeah.
just works because it's a funny show.
Same with like break, even like on
Yeah.
the non, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad. Yeah.
but no, that was a good list. Good list for sure. Um, vote Instagram. I'll
Instagram.
vote on Instagram. I've done multiple locations to vote in the past, and one person wins on the other. So vote on Instagram. It'll be on the post. So make sure to drop a vote. You got 24 hours. So be on the lookout for that.
Well, absolutely. I mean, anything else before we wrap up episode 2.5?
Football could not come faster.
Yeah.
We're just baseball. Baseball will hold it down for a little bit. Yeah. Little League World Series starts again here soon, I think. But yeah, tough going right now. We might switch up, do some streams instead of episodes. We'll see. We'll go to the drawing board because
Work with some content ideas. Although I guess one thing that is coming up somewhat soon, and I'm sure we'll probably have someone on or talk about it, is the MLB trade deadline's coming.
Yeah.
Up. So we'll that's something to look forward to. The Mets will certainly look very different after the deadline.
Yeah.
So there's some coverage there.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think that's it. I think I mean World Cup, we covered the three biggest storylines outside of that. So
absolutely. Well, make sure to follow the podcast on X, Instagram, and TikTok at crunchtime_pod. We have been seriously lacking on the daily trivias. We will get that back up.
And we apologize.
Yeah.
Our last two episodes, our audio has been dog shit.
Our audio has been terrible.
So we think we fixed it. It's definitely better. You can hear Tanner.
Yes, you can hear me.
But we're slowly figuring it out. We thought the mic wasn't picking up Tanner's voice. It wasn't that. We switched chords, seemed to work this episode, so let us know. But we apologize for that because I know it wasn't a very fun listen. If you managed to go through the last two episodes, I applaud you because even editing, it was tough. But shout out to that. Hopefully, we put out some better products. I've been lacking on the clips as well with the audio. I just kind of scrapped it. So I'll be more active on TikTok. That's where I post majority of it. So
and we'll get the trivia back going.
Yeah.
Too. So we'll get this thing going again.
For sure.
But thanks for bearing with us through the tech issues. But make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube where you'll find all of this stuff, all of these videos and all that. Crunch Time with the N326 duo. But the clock has run out on this episode, and we'll see you on the next one on Crunch Time.
Yeah.